The most profound thing I learned at the Mona School of Business and Management is how to work with people who have diverse views after looking at the same information.
I would say emotional intelligence as a concept and its importance in leadership.
The importance of team and how that can really and truly, shape the outcome of your life, your business.
The leadership, that was a pivot for my taking off to where I am today.
I've found that when you do your current job well, people will see and recommend you, and you yourself will gain confidence in how you perform.
I think it's very important to work hard. It's critical in creating an atmosphere of wholesomeness.
I feel that Mona School of Business and Management is the top management training institution in the region.
Just straight excellence.
So I'd recommend the Mona School of Business and Management, both for undergraduate and postgraduate studies.
You are going to be impacted positively.
It worked for me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us this evening at another in our virtual graduate information sessions. We're very grateful that you have chosen to spend your evening with us, but even more so that you have chosen to explore our program offerings. We believe that the decision to pursue higher education is one of the most significant decisions that you will ever make. And so we commend you for taking this first step. This evening, we have a tight program planned for you, where we hope to be able to give you all the information that you need in order to make the final decision. We also have a team online with us who will be able to answer your questions even while the session progresses. So we ask that you put your questions in the chat question box, and we have persons who will answer you. So again, welcome and thank you for being with us this evening. So without further ado, I will invite Dr. David Msbn to give the official welcome. Dr. Msbn.
Welcome and thank you for joining us at another in our series of virtual information sessions for postgraduate programs. We want to thank you for considering Msbm and of course the UWI, the leading institution in the region, both internationally ranked and accredited. You have made a great choice, as the UA has recently been ranked in the top 4% of universities in the world by the Times Higher Education rankings. In addition, Msbm's MBA program is internationally accredited by the Association of MBAs, AMBA, which is one of the top 3 ranking institutions in the world for MBAs. And also, several of our graduate programs have been ranked in the top 10% by EduUniversal for Latin America. Let me congratulate you for making the first step in pursuing your graduate studies and for thinking about investing in yourself in a time of such uncertainty. As Winston Churchill said, never waste a crisis, and the pursuit of a higher degree offers you the opportunity to retool and position yourself to take advantage of many emerging opportunities in the world of business occasioned by the global pandemic. As a school, we're also agile and flexible, and have been able to pivot to continue to offer students a high quality of education, even during these challenging times. The strength of Msbm is that we understand teaching and learning in a local and regional context, and this is an advantage for culture. Additionally, we provide global knowledge and regional solutions and produce internationally competent and capable professionals and leaders through teaching, research, and service. We therefore provide our students with an advantage of being able to function seamlessly. We have a great team of faculty and administrative support committed to supporting you on your journey to postgraduate success. Today, we are here to guide you through the first step of your journey and hope that in time, we will welcome you to the Msbn family.
Thank you very much, Dr. Msbn. I know most of you are eager to hear the details of the programs. And with us this evening is Dr. Indiana Mintercoy, the Academic Director of our MSc programs, and she will take us through a presentation of the program in overview. Dr. Mintokoy.
Hi, welcome everyone to the Mona School of Business and Management information session. Our aim is to introduce you to our graduate programs specifically, or master's programs and or MBAs. I am Indiana Minto-Koy, the Academic Director of the graduate program, specifically MSCs, here at the Mona School of Business and Management. I want to give you an overview of the Msbm itself, so you have a little understanding and flavor of the institution that you're aiming to become a part of. The Msbm is a key node in the network of the University of the West Indies, MONA, and it offers a range of graduate and undergraduate degree programs. Of course, we have our cutting-edge consultancy services through the Msbn Consulting, formerly PSU, and of course, our public policy research. These are highlights of the institution as well. The Msbm, we are an educational institution, a training institution, but we have a number of awards that we're very proud of. Included among these, of course, is our MBA, which has been accredited by AMBA and reaccredited in 2014 and 2017, with the first accreditation being in 2011. Of course, AMBA is the gold standard in management education, so this is something that we're proud of. We were also awarded the Best of Chamber Small Enterprise by the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce. Among our other accolades, of course, several of our MSc programs have been ranking in the top 10 in Latin America and the Caribbean by Ed Universal. We're also partners to the World Economic Forum, and of course, very importantly, we have been named as an authorized training provider by the Project Management Institute. As a part of the University of the West Indies network, the Mona School of Business and Management, of course, shares in some of the global accolades and awards that the university has won. Included among these, of course, is our rating in the top 1% of universities in Latin America and the Caribbean. Our vision or mission, they embody our goals or desires, and we express these as an invitation to you who are interested in joining our institution to see yourselves as a part of that vision and mission. So the vision is to be an excellent, globally recognized business school rooted in the Caribbean. The mission, to advance learning, create knowledge, and foster innovation for the positive transformation of Caribbean enterprises through the development of world-class business professionals and research-based solutions. We offer 8 MSCs and, of course, our Master in Business Administration. The MSc programs that we offer include our MSc in Accounting, Marketing and Data Analytics, Enterprise Risk Management, National Security and Strategic Studies, Computer-Based Information Systems, Corporate Finance, Logistics and Supply Chain Management, and of course, our program in Procurement Management. For MBA, in terms of the duration, the length of the program, our MBA takes place over a 24-month period, and it's offered on a part-time basis. Likewise, our MSc in Accounting, Enterprise Risk Management, CBMIS, National Security and Strategic Studies, these are all offered on a 24-month basis on a part-time basis. We offer both a part-time and a full-time for our corporate finance. The full-time takes place over a 12-month period and the part-time 24 months. Logistics and supply chain management, marketing and data analytics, and procurement management, these are also offered on a part-time basis, again, over a 24-month period. In terms of the entry requirements for our programs, we require a bachelor's degree with a GPA of 2.5 or higher. Now, we understand that persons' situations will differ. There are persons who will have experience and may not have attained that minimum 2.5 GPA. We have provisions for that, and so applicants with a GPA that's lower than 2.5, You will be considered if you have at least 2 years working experience in a related area, as well as professional qualification or certification. And of course, we also reserve the right to interview some applicants who have not met that minimum 2.5 GPA. So we also have a category for mature students. The university allows us to have 10% of each of our programs be represented by mature students. So we do have those provisions that allow for consideration of those who do not have that minimum 2.5 GPA. In terms of the entry requirements, I'm sure this is an important part of your consideration. I just spoke about the 2.5 GPA. So I'll go through as it relates specifically to each program. So for the MBA, we require 3 years postgraduate work experience, and this is a stipulation from AMBA. And AMBA, they're very strict on that requirement. So that's a 3 years postgraduate work experience. For MSc in accounting, it's a degree in accounting or a related field. For corporate finance, an undergraduate course in financial management. For enterprise risk management, we require a GPA of 3.0. Okay, and that's in a bachelor's degree in a quantitative discipline. For the CBMIS, it's 2 years work experience, a computer science or management degree. And it's important to know that this program is offered in conjunction with the Department of Computer Science here at the University of the West Indies as well. For CBMIS, I just spoke to that. For national security and strategic studies, it's a mid-management level position in security. We also consider experience, and so here are 10 years experience. Logistics and supply chain management is a 2.5 GPA and experience in a related field. For marketing and data analytics, we require a 2.5 GPA and some quantitative skills. So for example, an undergraduate quantitative course or a certification outside of a university setting. And of course, for the MSc in procurement management, we require 2.5 GPA as well and 2 years work experience. In terms of our start dates, the MBA begins in August of each year and the MSc starts in September. In terms of delivery, the MBA is delivered on evenings or Sundays. The MSc programs as well, we've considered being that in most cases, most of our students, most of our applicants are working. And so most of our MSCs, as well as our MBA as indicated, we've tried to schedule those times to be accommodating of you so you can take this on as you work. And so the MSc programs are also offered in the evenings. In the case of CBMIS, it's offered on evenings and on Saturdays. For the MSc in corporate finance, logistics and supply chain management, marketing and data analytics, and procurement, these are offered on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The exception here, of course, is our full-time corporate finance students. And so for full-time corporate finance, your classes will be offered on Sundays, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Wednesdays, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. or 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's for the full-time. So we see where we can, we've adjusted the programs, we've set the classes and scheduled them at a point where you can in fact manage to do them and work at the same time. In terms of our delivery, as I mentioned, our MBA program is delivered over a 24-month period, Sundays or evenings, 3 evenings per week in fact. And it's delivered in 3 phases, and we use the acronym ICE to describe that 24-month period. The first phase is an immersion phase, which sees students learning soft and basic business skills. And this is in the first month, that would be in August. And this takes place 3 to 4 evenings a week, plus Sundays. The second phase is our concepts phase, and this sees students taking on 11 course modules and 4 concentration modules. The core courses will be delivered 3 evenings between 5:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. or all day Sunday, 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. And for the concentration courses, this is done 3 evenings between 5:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. And it's important for us even to give an idea of the time. So as you think through what programs you will do and how you will fit them into your schedule, then these times, which are upfront, allow you to plan ahead. The final phase is our execution phase, and that is a thread that connects across all the phases that you've gone through in the program. So in the execution phase, you're able to bring to mind all the theories, the concepts that you've learned in phases 1 and 2 into solving a real world problem. And this is a very interesting part of the course, the program itself, because this is where you actually have an opportunity to become a consultant. So you take all the skills that you've learned, all the training and theories from the other courses, and you adapt them here to addressing a real world challenge. And this phase takes place over a 3-month period, which of course ends with your submission of your consultancy document, your project report, and presentation on your deliverables. So here, of course, we have our AMBA accreditation, which is something that we're very proud of because the accreditation rate, it's very low because of the high quality. So AMBA is the world's only MBA-specific accreditation organization, and it accredits just 2% of the world's MBA business schools. And so we say that to suggest that when you do decide to take a program here at the Mona School of Business and Management, that you are joining world class. So like a diamond, an MBA is forever. So of course, the Mona School of Business and Management, or MBA, is accredited by AMBA. The final project, which is something that's undertaken in the MSc programs as well as our MBA program, also over a 3-month basis. The final project or field project, as I noted, allows you to synthesize concepts learned throughout the program to address real-world problems. We have 2 formats for that. So we partner with local organizations to identify challenges that are faced by that organization, and that you or students, if you join us and you become our students, will play a part in helping that organization to address that problem. Or it is designed based on real-world experiences. In closing, I want to also introduce you to our professional services unit, also known as Msbm Consulting. So as you contemplate what degree program you will take on, what degree program or programs you will be interested in applying to, we also invite you to consider other areas of the school in terms of certification. So we offer executive education and training. We offer short courses as well, and these short courses can be an excellent complement to whatever graduate program you're going to take on. Of course, including our training in project management. And I mentioned earlier that we have the ATP certification as well. So as you think through, see what you can actually take on. So when you leave the Msbn, you leave with a whole suite of experiences and certification. So in terms of applying, please do apply online. We are in an interesting context. We know there's COVID-19, and so we've pivoted to allow for many of the hand processes and face-to-face processes to now take place online. So please apply by going to our website, and please note our application deadline of March 31st, 2021. Please do complete your application online. For those of you who have transcripts to submit, we understand again that you may not want to come in face-to-face to do that, and so we are actually allowing you to submit documentation online as well. The final version of the transcripts can be submitted at a later date, but for now, you can submit copies of your transcripts online. Of course, your references, all these things, again, you can submit online. And of course, visit our website to get further information on the application process. Each of the programs that I've discussed here, we have program-specific booklets on our website that goes into, the booklets go into far more details. And so what I've aimed to do today is to give you an overview and to give you a sense of what the programs are, what they're about, what the requirements are. And you can go to our website to get further information or write in to the Msbm for further information. Of course, as you think about how you want to connect with us, we have our various social media platforms here. So please feel free to reach out, make contact with us, query any of our programs. We're here to help you, and we look forward ultimately to you becoming a part of the Mona School of Business and Management. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mintercoy. Now, I know that was a mouthful, quite a lot to take in, but as I said, you may ask your questions after or continue to ask your questions. So I hope you're making a note of those things that you need some clarification about, so we can address them later in the session. I know in addition to what the program offers, many of you are thinking about the nature of what I would call the investment. What do you have to pay in terms of tuition fees? And so I'm inviting our Director of Finance, Ms. Merlin Reed, to come to give a presentation about the tuition fees, after which we will have a presentation from JMMB Bank, who has actually put together a special loan program for Msbm students. Ms. Reed?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this evening's session. And my name is Merlin Reed, and I will take you through the planning of your tuition fee for the academic year 21-22. Most of the information that you'll see I will explain here this evening, are on our website, and you please feel free to at your own leisure to go, and you can visit and read, and any questions you have, you can always email us for additional information, and we'll answer them as best as we can. So Mona School of Business and Management is a self-supporting entity. That means we do not get any budgetary support from the government or the university. So all our programs are self-sustaining. It means your fees are very important to us. Some of our financial partners, and we say these are companies that have been working with us for over the years. There are companies such as NCB, JMMB, Edicom Credit Union, the COK, and others. But JMMB specifically has developed a financial package specifically for our graduate students to assist them with a payment of their tuition fee. And that facility is available to all students, and you're welcome to check it out, check JMMB, and they will provide additional information as is needed. Students Loan, for example, is one of the entities that we partner with. They offer graduate loans throughout the year, and you are welcome to apply anytime, and the interest rate is as low as 10% the last time we checked. So let's look at the individual programs, and we'll look at the MBA, for example, as that's our flagship program, and the program duration is for 24 months, tuition fee is $16,000 and that amount includes your ebooks and other course materials. How do you pay your tuition fee for the MBA program? So you will start in August, and in August, on the 2nd of August, you will be required to pay an amount of $1,600 to cover the immersion period. And then in September, you would pay another $2,400. And thereafter, at the beginning of each semester, you will pay $2,400 until the last semester of your second year, when you will pay the final $2,400. Of course, students who may have the funds upfront and want to make payments in one lump sum, you're free to do so, or if you want to pay it in half, 2 halves for the beginning of each academic year, please feel free to do so. But we charge the fees per semester, and you are welcome to pay at that time. We look next at some of the MSc programs, such as accounting, corporate finance, logistics, marketing and data analytics, and procurement. All of those programs, the tuition fee is $10,000 for the program. We have part-time and full-time. And for the part-time programs, it will last over 2 academic years, and the full-time is 1 academic year, which is 12 months. And the tuition fee is $10,000. And of course, as I said earlier, it can be paid in one lump sum annually or by semester at the beginning of each semester. And the payment schedules that we have online will also give you an idea of the due dates for these programs. So let's look at, for example, the full-time program for the MSc program. In August, you will pay an amount of $3,333.33, and another one is due in January, and the final one in May 2022. And that would cover your program fee. Of course, it covers, as I said, for just like similar to the MBA programs, it would cover your textbooks and any reading material. The part-time, if you're choose to do the part-time program, of course, the semester fee would be $1,667 per semester, and you would pay that over 6 semesters. We have 2 MSc programs that the program cost is a little bit different than the others. That is the CBMIS and National Security Program. The cost for those 2 programs is $8,000 each. And as similar to the other MSc programs, these are part-time programs, and they're off over 24 months, and you can pay the fee over by semester at the beginning of each semester also. And this is just an illustration of the breakdown of what the amount you would need to pay each semester. So at the beginning of the year, in August, you would pay $1,133 and continue to pay over the remaining 5 semesters of the program. Another of our MSc program is the ERM program, Enterprise Risk Management, and that one costs $12,000. It's a part-time program offered over 12 months, similar to some of the other MSc programs. And you would pay on a semester basis over 6 semesters. The cost per semester is $2,000 in August, and it continues for the remaining 5 semesters. Let's look at some tuition payment deadlines. So for the MSc students, their final day for paying the semester 1 fee would be the 28th of August or thereabout, depending on what day of the week that is. If it's a weekday, it's 28th. If it's a weekend, we look to the beginning of the following week. For the MBA students, the first initial deposit is due on the 2nd of August, and the other payment is due on the 25th of September. And continually, the fees are due around the 2nd of January and the first day in May. And of course, we look at the days of the week. So if those days falls on a weekend, we go and look at the following Monday. We are in partnership with the Credit Bureau of Jamaica, Info Jamaica Limited, where we can pull credit information of students who have requested for us to go into a payment plan with them. We occasionally have to do that, but that's not something we want to do on a regular basis. We prefer to have a discussion upfront with the students and who are having difficulties, and how we see best how we can work with them to have their fees paid on time. Miscellaneous fees. Miscellaneous fees is applicable to all programs and is a fee that is charged by the University of the West Indies, all students. And when I said all, it means all undergrad, postgrad students of the University of the West Indies, which include the Mona School of Business students, have to pay the miscellaneous fees, or are required to pay the miscellaneous fees. For the academic year 2021, the miscellaneous fee was $16,110, and they gave a discount of, I think it was $2,600 to each student for the fact that they were doing online and they were not physically on the campus. I don't know what it will be for 21-22. However, just bear that in mind that some years the miscellaneous fee remain the same. There are others that the fee, they usually had like a $500 on it. So the likelihood for the fee to increase, there's a likelihood, but bear in mind it is around $16,100. You will pay us the amount and we will remit that amount to the university at the end of the semester each. It's paid once per year, once per academic year. So once you pay it at the beginning of the academic year, that's it for miscellaneous fee for that year. And it covers guild fee, health insurance, your identification card, etc. That's what the miscellaneous fee covers. Some contact information. My information is here. My email address is merlin.reed@uwimona.edu.jm. And for the other members of the accounting team, you can reach us at msbm-accounting@uwimona.edu.jm. And the telephone numbers are the regular switchboard numbers, and the extensions are either 248, 226, or 235. We have some scholarships. I know some of you may be interested in hearing about some scholarships. We don't have enough for each program, but we are hopeful that as the years go by, we'll have some good benefactors who will provide some scholarship for all the programs. So we have scholarship for the MSc Accounting program. We have 2 sponsored by JMMB Joan Duncan Foundation. We have 1 for corporate finance, courtesy of JMMB Foundation, of course. And for this current academic year, that is 2021, we had 1 being offered by the Kenneth Chung Foundation through the ICAJ. That was for $250,000. We are hoping that it will be ongoing and that scholarship, of course, was for MSc Accounting. So far we have 3 for MSc Accounting and 1 for corporate finance. We hope we'll have more as we go along, as I said, for the other programs. But for now, that's what we have available for students to apply for. Let me use this opportunity to wish you success in your application, and we look forward to seeing you in September joining the Msbm family. Thank you.
Thank you. So there you have it. And as Ms. Reed mentioned, we have special facilities to accommodate you. And so we ask again that you put your questions in the chat for anything that you need any clarification about. One of the school's most notable achievements we consider to be our alumni or graduates, of whom we are very proud. And they continue to shine wherever they are placed. And now we're going to hear from 2 who will tell us about their experience during the program and how it has helped them in their professional career. First, we'll hear from Mrs. Melissa Chin Chablal, attorney at law and radio account executive. She's an MBA graduate. She specialized in marketing. She'll be followed by Mr. Joel Nomdarkham. He did the MSc in marketing and data analytics, and he's now a senior digital marketing development specialist. Let's hear them.
Hi, I'm Melissa Chin. I completed a Master's in Business Administration, specializing in marketing at the Mona School of Business and Management in 2012. As a media professional, 12 years before I got to Mona School of Business, I felt like I was just being a stereotype, coming to work and doing what I'm supposed to do. But after completing my Master's, I started to think about my job in a holistic fashion, and that has really helped me over the years to become a top of my field. I would recommend Mona School of Business to anyone who wants to further their career or just to become your better self or even to become an entrepreneur, because the delivery of the courses that they offer are of such a variety, and the mechanisms that they choose to help you to become a better person is just excellent.
I recently completed my Master's in Marketing and Data Analytics at the Mona School of Business and Management. We were always kept in the loop. But in terms of a networking opportunity, I was able to meet persons who I wouldn't have otherwise, who would have had shared knowledge with myself. You know, all in all, Msbm is the premier institution for studies, whether it's in marketing, whether it's in business management. And without any reservation, I would recommend this program to anybody who really is looking forward to stepping up and performing at the best as you can.
Thank you. So there you have it. You would have heard directly from students who did the program and how it has helped them. So now we come to that point in our program where you want to ask your questions. We'll invite you to ask your questions. I know you've been having some of them answered so far, but we'll actually project some of the questions, which I will read aloud so that you may be able to benefit from the answer. And we'll have a panel of persons who will help us in the responses. Hello, everyone. So as I said, we've come to that point where we take your questions. I know that several of you have already had your questions answered in the chat, but we have a panel comprising of Dr. Lila Rowe Graham, Dr. Indiana Minter Coy, Ms. Marlene Reed, and others who will help with some of the questions that we'll project for the benefit of all. So they were projected and I will read them aloud. Okay, so the first question is, will there be online delivery of programs? Dr. Minter Coy, would you take that? Dr. Graham, perhaps?
Hi, good evening all. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yes, so just to be clear, as we move forward, we anticipate at the start of this upcoming academic year, we will be online. There may be some point in the future where we want to look towards a more blended mode where we have sometimes face-to-face and sometimes online. But we'll have to play that by ear as we get updates as to how we're doing with the pandemic. We'll make that information available, but it will start as an online delivery. We anticipate at least for the current academic year.
Okay, thank you very much. And perhaps you should have also said that we were able to, within a month, pivot to offer online deliveries once we got in the midst of the pandemic last March. So as of April, so right now, all the programs as well as the assessments are being done online. So we have the capability, but we're not sure how we'll proceed. Next question, please. What is the difference between core and concentration? That's a question for the MBA program, Dr. Graham, so we'll ask you to take that.
Okay, thanks again. Just to be clear, as Ms. Hendon said, the program, the only program that has a concept of the core and the concentration would be the MBA program. Generally, the core speaks to the breadth of the management, graduate management courses that all students will be exposed to, all MBA students. And once you finish the core component of the program, then you choose a concentration. I think I saw somebody earlier asking about the MBA HRM. We do not have, it's not an MBA HR, or it's not an MBA finance. It's a general MBA program, and then you do a concentration in one of the concentrations that we offer, which includes international business, finance, information systems, HR, marketing, and then we have a general management, which you can mix courses from across those concentrations. So you do 4 courses for that concentration. I hope that's clear.
Okay, so essentially you're saying the core, everyone would do those, and then once persons choose the area they want to kind of specialize in,
right,
and they do some courses which are specific to that specialization.
And for each of them, it's a specific 4 courses that makes up that concentration. Except for the general management concentration, where you can choose across. But I just want to make one point, Ms. Henley. When you apply, you're applying for the MBA, because it's, to do the concentration, we have to have enough students to make up the concentration, enough persons interested in that concentration, but also you have to have passed the core courses for that concentration. So for example, the finance core course is a mandatory course if you want to have passed, if you want to start the finance concentration. So when you're applying at this point, you're applying to the MBA program. You're not guaranteed that the concentration that you're interested in will be available to you.
Okay, and I think it's also important to say that the core courses represent a good foundation in several different areas. So everyone will get to do business analytics, for example, some finance, some accounting, some marketing. So you do get a great introduction to a business graduate degree before you branch off into your concentration. Thank you very much. Next question. How soon will applicants know if they have been accepted? You want to go, Dr. Graham?
Sure. So generally, your application will only be, the processing will only start once you have completed, the application is complete. And I have to make that very clear because some persons start the application process, but you must complete it. You must ensure that the transcript, if you're not a UE graduate from the undergrad program, we have to try to ensure that we can't process it until we have seen that transcript. Additionally, we also require the 2 references. And so your application is not marked ready for examination until all that documentation is in. Once that documentation is in, MSBM will provide a recommendation to the university's Office of Graduate Studies and Research. And they are the ones that actually give the offer to you, the applicant. That process, once your application has become complete, that process usually takes about 2.5 weeks to turn around.
Okay, thanks. And just to reiterate, the matter of ensuring that all the documents are submitted, because the application is not considered complete until all the documents have been submitted, after which the processing begins. So I encourage persons who have started the application but not yet completed to continue the process, because you don't have a chance until your application is complete. So even though the deadline, as we've said, is March 31, we encourage you to continue the process and complete so that you can get your response sooner, so you can put your life in order in preparation to start this important step in your life.
Just to add, Ms. Hennon, sorry, I just want to say the references sometimes require a lot of follow-up to get them in. Typically, we can process it if we get at least 1 in, but you may have to really follow up with those persons you've asked to be a reference, just to ensure they get that supporting documentation in, as that's a part of the completion of the application.
Okay, thanks. And just to let everyone know, we will send at the end of this session or tomorrow to all the persons who have registered a link to the application guide, so that you can get a sense of all the requirements, or just to remind you of the requirements. And of course, you can contact us for assistance if you're having any difficulty with completing the application. Thank you. Next question. For the reference, I see where it says that one should be employment-based. Can a supervisor do it, or does it have to be your manager? But this follows from what you're speaking about, the documents to be submitted. You want to take that?
I think the supervisor would be suitable to provide that reference.
Right, because the reference is really about your professional conduct, your professional role, and so someone who directly supervises you would be able to do that. Thank you. Next question. Are there any scholarships for the MBA program available? I think that the simple answer is no, not at the moment, or rather, not at the moment. We find that the benefactors are more keen in the first instance to support undergraduate students, and then after that, more specialized MSc programs. For example, we have scholarships for MSc Accounting and Corporate Finance, but so far we have not had any persons who have stepped up to offer scholarships for the MBA program. And that's why for all of the programs, we have sought to make the arrangements we have, and we mentioned, and you would have seen about the JMMB offer, so that we can assist our students with paying their tuition, or certainly facilitating by the arrangements that we make, both in terms of how the payments are due and also in terms of the arrangements for loans, etc. Thank you. Is that JMB loan available to regional students? We would have to contact JMB about that. The blanket statement from them is Msbm graduate students, but the finer details and what we can send as well on our website where we promote the JMB facility, we do have a list of JMB employees, names and numbers for contact to be made about some finer details. But broadly, they say available to all Msbm graduate students. Can more information be provided on uploading transcripts and referee reports? I think that we would have to submit that information, perhaps in terms of making that available when we send out information from this session.
Yes, I think as it is now, typically those are the documents that would have been physically brought to us at the school. As Dr. Mintokoy had pointed out earlier, we can accommodate them being emailed to Msbm. Somebody will provide the email address in the question box, as I don't know it offhand, but I think somebody will provide that in the chat or the question answer session. So as I said, we are facilitating those currently, those being emailed to us, and then we can have them uploaded. So you can get more information on that. As you said, Ms. Hennon, we could provide that after this session.
Just to note, Dr. Graham, good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Mintokoy. So you can email your documents to Dawn, DAWN.Morgan@uwimona.edu.jm. So that's Dawn.Morgan@uwimona.edu.jm. You can also send documents to Stephen Henderson, and that's Stephen, STEPHEN.Henderson@uwimona.edu.jm.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mintokoy. And I'm sure one of our team members will just put that in the chat so that you can get that information on hand about the email addresses for the persons to whom you can upload and send your documents by email. Let's take another question. In the case of the Master of Science in National Security and Strategic Studies, is consideration given to applicants who are not in mid-level management? Dr. Mintokoy, would you take that?
Yes, so we do look at years of experience, as well as your first degree, your academic qualifications. So you may not be mid-level management, but submit the application and we will consider. As we mentioned, we note that there are persons who will have different types of qualification, whether it be years of service, seniority, your first degree, and so on. So we do consider a number of factors. And of course, your references help us to make that determination as it relates to your qualification for the program. So please do submit your application.
Okay, thank you very much. So the email addresses have been put in the chat. So you may send your documents to those email addresses. And of course, if you have further queries that you perhaps may not want to ask in this forum, you may also send to Dawn Morgan and Stephen Henderson in the email addresses provided. Do we have another question? Dr. Mintokoy, we just need you again. What MSc programs are held on weekends?
Okay, thanks for that. So scheduling of programs considered how best to arrange those to fit, especially those who are working. And so our MSc in Corporate Finance, Logistics and Supply Chain Management, Marketing and Data Analytics, or Procurement program, all these are held on weekends. In fact, they're on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We, of course, have a full-time option for MSc, the MSc in Corporate Finance. And those classes are held on Sundays, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Wednesdays, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. or 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Or MSc Accounting, it's held in evenings, but we have some classes. We have our classes on weekdays. The ERM, Enterprise Risk Management, National Security and Strategic Studies, and CBMIS, those are also held on weekdays in the evenings. CBMIS also takes place on a Saturday. So the point I'm trying to make is we have a number of programs that are held on Sundays, but for the other programs that are held on a weekday, we've tried to schedule those classes in the evenings as well.
Okay, thank you. Is there any way to do the MBA program full-time? Dr. Graham? Let's see how.
No, currently we don't facilitate the MBA program as a full-time program. We did previously have that full-time program, but because of our accreditation, all applicants have to have at least 3 years work experience. So what we found was that persons weren't willing to give up their jobs to come and do the MBA full-time program. So about 3 years ago, I think, we had stopped offering that on a full-time basis. And the way the schedule is structured, it wouldn't facilitate you being able to do an additional load to try to finish it earlier.
Okay, thanks. And I'm imagining just to note that the MBA is internationally accredited, and that one of the stipulations is that persons who apply need to have at least 3 years work experience after their first degree. So invariably, persons in their jobs, and so to give it up to come and do the program has been difficult. And so we're not appealing to people who have just finished their undergraduate degrees who just go into another full-time program. So hence the reason why we have not had much traction with that, and so stopped offering a full-time offer. What is the deadline for applicants who wish to commence in January 2022? So we don't have a January intake. The programs begin in August or September. So our next intake is August, September 2021, and the next would be August, September 2022. So do we have more questions? And just to advise or remind you that we also have some other sessions which we dub Lunch and Learn, particularly for the MSc programs. So that if you're interested in a particular MSc program, you can actually use your lunchtime, where we will be with you for about an hour to give you some specific details of those programs. And the next is scheduled for March 3, when we'll be looking at the CBMIS and the National Security Program. And then we have another on March 10, when we look at corporate finance and enterprise risk management. So there you can get some of the granular details about those programs. We'll send out that information, of course, but I just wanted to let you know, if you don't get your question addressed, particularly with the MSc programs, there are some other opportunities to have those addressed. The next question is, what application is used for the delivery of exams during this pandemic? Either of you may answer, Dr. Graham or Mintokoy.
Sorry, Dr. Henlin, I missed that question. Can you repeat, please?
What application is used for the delivery of exams during this pandemic?
Just to say that we use various courses depending on the style of the course and the content of the course. There are various options that are used for the examination process. So there are some exams that will be multiple choice done through the online management system, but there are other courses that require you to do case study analysis, for example. So those may be taken offline for a longer duration and then uploaded. So there are various formats that are used for the assessment. They are currently being done in an online way, but there's different styles that are being used.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Mintaka, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, or that answers that question.
I think it's been covered. I mean, if the person who asked, if they still have follow-up, if the question hasn't been answered, they can come back.
Okay, thank you very much. Next question, I graduated from UWI, having done an undergrad program. Seeing that UWI would have a copy of my transcript, am I still required to submit this?
No, no. Once you're a UWI graduate, the transcript will be available to us automatically.
So this more applies to persons who didn't do a degree with the UWI. And it relates also to the merit certificate. So if you did your program with the UE, then you don't need to submit that as well.
Okay, thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we promised you a tight session in which we would try to present the relevant information to help you to either make a decision to apply or to confirm in your mind that you made the right decision. And of course, we understand that it is a big decision to make to pursue graduate studies, very important decision too. And so our commitment is to support you along the way. And so we have these sessions so we can provide the information. And as I mentioned, we have some other sessions. We also encourage you to follow us on our social media platforms. We are on all, most if not all, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And you'll get more information about what's happening. Follow us in terms of our website. We've put some contact information in the chat. So we encourage you, if you have further questions, please reach out to someone or reach out to us via our various channels. So I am left then to just express our sincere thanks to you for spending your evening with us and for engaging with us in the ways that you have, and for even considering Msbm. We actually are very grateful about that. We don't take that for granted because we know that you have choice. So we hope that you have found the evening's presentations meaningful, that most, if not all, of your questions have been answered. And of course, if they have not been, we encourage you to seek us out in the ways we have expressed. We will be sending an email to all who registered and attended this session so that you can get some of the resource documents that we have mentioned. So with that, thank you so much. And thankfully, we were not worried about getting home before the curfew, but we're still mindful that you have other things to do. So it has been our pleasure. Thank you again and have a good rest of the evening.